name's Luke Seeley.
I'm Charles Gunn.
And I'm Kirk Mills, and we're Break the Vape. Picture this. You're a 14-year-old freshman. It's your first day of high school. You're young, you're naive, you're impressionable, and you're just trying to fit in. Well, second period rolls around, and you've got to use the bathroom, as most do. So you walk to the bathroom, you enter, and you're just bombarded with a cloud of vape smoke. Well, as you walk in, you notice all the popular junior and senior boys are crowded around in a circle hitting vapes. Well, as you're trying to make a good first impression, you walk up to them and you introduce yourself, but instead of saying hi back, they offer you a hit of a vape. Well, instead of offering and accepting that offer, you decline respectfully. And you feel that in some way you're now ostracized for saying no. Well, this is an unfortunate reality for many Eastern Kentucky students in high schools because, well, that 14-year-old was me.
Unfortunately, Kirk isn't the only one experiencing there, especially the high school students. When we walk into our bathroom and then we're hit with this puff of smoke, like Kirk said. Well, this puff of smoke goes away, but unfortunately, the health effects don't. So how many people vape? Well, 1 out of every 5 high school students in Kentucky vape. This is from the CDC. Now, this has doubled the national average. In Kentucky, we have a real problem of vaping in the youth. But this vaping the effects of vaping don't only last for their teenage years. It lasts a lifetime. This is Jaylee Deskins, a Martin County High School senior. She says that she wants to quit, but it feels impossible without anyone to turn to. That's what we noticed when we went out and interviewed Martin County students and other students from the KVEC region. We saw that interviewing these people, it was their own peers holding them back. It wasn't the teachers, it wasn't the school administrators, it was their own peers. Or that's where Break the Vape comes in. So who are we? Break the Vape is a support system empowering students to reclaim their life through the website and the box. This is Kirk on the details and specifics of the box and how it's implemented.
Well, here at Break the Vape, we intend to have a multifaceted approach because we know that just having a box is not simply enough. We custom fabricated this box to be sleek, modern, cost-effective at only $40, and mass-producible. My teammate Charles just now passed around the prototype box for you all to look at. It is made out of plastic, but as we all know, if anything's put in a high school bathroom, especially with something valuable, it needs to be secure. That's why the ones that we are getting put in will be made of a military-grade titanium alloy that will be bolted to each of the school bathroom walls so that it will not be tampered with. Additionally, to separate ourselves apart from just any other trash can, we are including a helpful statistic to be put on every box showing that the immediate effects of quitting vaping, just by sticking it in the box. Additional helpful resources include a link to our website, which will be put, and you can scan right now on that QR code, and our logo, Break the Vape. So, we all are from Martin County. I conducted a needs assessment. We conducted a needs assessment because we need to see what we can find from our peers to help combat the vape addiction. This is a quote from Drew Wilson, a Martin County High School senior. He says, "These boxes will help give me a place to direct my friends who are battling addiction. Because ultimately, there's nothing. There's nothing to point to and say, hey, if you want to quit vaping, we'll just go over there, do something like that, because there isn't anything." Well, now, with the proper implementation of our vape boxes, you can point to a vape box, say, look at that website, look at the resources on that website, and just put the vape in there, and it will be out of sight and out of mind, because that's the ultimate goal. Well, how are we going to implement this? We already have a pilot program in Martin County. We have collaborated with the local director of the health department, and have received grant funding. Our pilot program in Martin County is already fully funded, and we are planning Q1 of 2025 to be fully implemented in Martin County, Q4 of 2025 for KVEC, and then statewide in Kentucky sometime in 2026.
Right now, we have a $3,000 annual grant from the Martin County Public Health Department. It is renewable and can be used for anything for our program. With an initial cost of $800 for the initial boxes and what we need to put it in Martin County. We have a massive amount of extra funding we can use to buy shirts like we are wearing today for this presentation. Right here, we have a website QR code the audience can scan. This will be on every single box, like the one you were given. Any student will be able to directly access it freely, easily. This is our home page. It will serve as a home page for anyone to find all the functions of our website to help them break their vape addiction. Every single function of the website is accessible in 1 or 2 clicks to make it easy because people don't want to, spend too much time on this. On the home page of the website, we have multiple very important statistics about vaping in Kentucky. One of these being that 8,900 people have deaths attributed to vaping and smoking in Kentucky. This is more than alcohol and murders combined. The primary point of our website is to direct students to valuable resources such as the NIDA and other very important hotlines and resources like that. Every single hotline and website will have their website link, their name, their purpose, and if they're all hotline, they will have their phone number. Additionally, as a supplement to our grant funding, we will have a donation page for anyone who wishes to financially support us directly. It can be either in monthly or singular amounts. Finally, we have a contact page for any schools or students who wish to email us or speak to us directly through the website's chat function to see whether they want us to add our product to their school or need more resources to help them quit vaping.
Now this is the market. So where are we first implementing this? Well, we'll first implementing 40 boxes in Martin County high schools and middle schools. Then we're moving to the Kentucky Valley Educational Cooperative. And then we are moving into Kentucky as a whole. But we realize this is more than just a box and a website. This is a movement within the students and the student body. So who are we impacting? We're impacting over 1,000 students in Martin County. And then we're moving up to the Quebec region to 34,000 students. Then we're moving to 423,000 students and their lives impacted through our website and the box through Kentucky.
In conclusion, we all know that vape addiction is a serious threat to public health, especially in Kentucky youth, being double the national average. As Luke said, we are more than just a box. We are a movement. And how do we expect to become more than just a box? Well, through incentives, of course. Why would a 15, 16, 14, or 18-year-old want to put something valuable of their own money into a vape box? Well, that's where we come in through connecting with the vice principals or dean of students. It's variable depending on the school. Well, at Martin County, they have a vice principal. We've spoken to him, and on a monthly basis, the vape box will be emptied, the vapes tallied, and there will be a poster board in the front of the school with a goal to reach of the amount of vapes deposited. Once that goal is reached, there will be fun pep rallies and a pizza party for the completion of that goal. Furthermore, we are expanding throughout just the high school and the middle school so that we can provide services not just through the high school. And ultimately, our goal is to be a peer support network because
what's good about this company is that it's a movement. We are empowering students to reclaim their life by just a flavored USB, We are truly getting out there, and we ourselves are working with these students and the student and the school administrators, and we're working with them. We will have 40 boxes implemented in Martin County High School and Middle School by the end of this year. This is an active project. We are doing this currently, and we are getting out on the road, and we are talking with students, but not only students, we're talking with school administrators to help empower others and empower the students in our lives. This is the future of Kentucky, and it's important that we invest in them through not only support, but initiative. Thank you. My name is Luke Seeley.
My name is Charles Gunn.
And I'm Kirk Mills, and we are Break the Vape.
Hey guys, good job. Way to tackle a very pressing issue and real problem. And love the branding. You thought a lot about it. Love the business canvas you handed out. Lots thought out there. On the revenue side, just a couple. What's your vision? What's your dream with this company? It sounds like it's I think you said it's a nonprofit. You're looking for donations and grants, and so what's your dream of this thing look like in 2 or 3 years from now? How many employees do you have? Are you doing it full time, or is this like a side hustle that you're just enjoying?
So ultimately, we designed our business model to be able to be tackled while we're in school. So we are trying to sustain like 501c3 nonprofit status. In terms of employees, our main source of educational showings, besides just the vape box, will be through volunteerism from like our own peers and prospective like ex-vapers, parents and such. And in 3 years, ultimately, the grants from the health departments, we will pursue those as we go county by county. But we are going to pursue legislature, to get funding from Kentucky directly.
And what's good about this project is that we are actively partnering with the schools. So they can look at their students there, and we're not saying that all of them are the same. So they can look at their students and say, okay, we have this many students vaping, or we see this, and the effects of one school might be larger than another.
Right.
So that's for them to say their goal and
Right.
say we want to have 500 vapes collected by the end of the half of the midterms. So that's more left up to not only us but the schools too.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. The data you collect, anytime you got a product or something you're putting out, validation is like the most important thing.
Yeah.
And you're getting ready to do that in your first school. There's a chance not one vape shows up in the box, or,
Yeah.
and so you want to see how this works and see vapes in there. It helps with the next one. Just a thought I had on that QR code. If you had people that wanted to, rather than it just be a one-time drop-off, if they could say, like, make a pledge, I'm quitting, and on the QR code fill out a form and put their name in, so that they would get, it could be anonymous, but they could get like a 30-day, a 2-week text. Have you still, does that make sense? So it's like
Yeah.
an engaging, long play kind of thing.
We have the ability for students to message us directly on the website, and we can totally incorporate something like that as like a more of an app function.
That's a great idea and good question. Thank you.
So from a finance standpoint, you've got your grant money to get started, and you're going to continue, I guess, seeking grant money. But going forward, in addition to that, do you hope to make there be profit from selling the boxes, or are you basically just want to provide them, break even, use your grant money, not really have income from it?
Yeah.
Going back
So
in.
right now we're looking basically on the impact and empowering students to help one another. So we're not too much worried about the profit, but we are so grateful that the Martin County Health District has provided us this grant, so we don't have to worry about that. We're not looking for a profit on the box. We're just looking to empower. Thank you.
To add on to what Luke stated, sorry, but anyway, so like down the road, we have spoken with the director of the health department. I'm sure you all know, there's batteries in vapes. There's a lot of electrical components, and we are looking to partner with recyclers, and we will be able to take those recycled profits and reinvest them in our advertising and traveling efforts to kind of supplement the grant money. That will come later, obviously. That's kind of more of because there's batteries, it's combustible and such, but we're working with that. That's why the box is made out of titanium, because it can't be.
Great idea. I hope it works really well. Do you know of any comparable programs?
I think there may have been some, but nothing in Kentucky, and I think they're pretty low scale. They were never like statewide or region-wide, just like in some schools. I think it was in like Illinois, there was some of them, but otherwise there's not really any major programs.
what we've noticed is that it's more the teachers and the school administrators in schools, and then the national hotlines and all of that, but there's not much support from the students. So what sells us from our competitors is we are focused on the students and empowering students to say no to their vape and saying that it's not cool anymore. You know, the lasting effects don't only last from your teenage years, they last a lifetime.
Did you say if you had done any testing, like to see how students would react to this?
Yes. So we have social media, and we have performed social media campaigns on Snapchat and Instagram. And during our polling, we saw multiple people commented that they would be more than happy to participate in the depositing of their vapes, because ultimately there's no, like, even, and that's where the recycling component comes in, because aside from quitting, there's no, like, safe disposal of the vape in general. So providing that with the recycling and also the incentives, they would, like, I believe, don't quote me on this, I think it was like 73% of proposed vapors said they would, at the very minimum, recycle it. And looking at the information, because it's obviously in front of them, the quitting part would come as well.
Yes, and we've also conducted a needs-based assessment. So we've been on the road, and we've been contacting Martin schools and the students there, and we've been interacting with them and conducting this assessment. And we've noticed, you know, we've had quotes in our slides, and we've talked to Jay Lee and all those different students, and they've said that they would greatly benefit from this initiative.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good. It might be difficult to do, and I don't know if you have time, but there are some other student ideas, one of which had to do with breaking an addiction to phones during the day. It's a different situation, but still it might have to do with human behavior and how all of us, including high school students, react to having to change our habits. And there might be something that you guys could share, multiple student entrepreneurial teams could share information about how addictions work, how human behavior works, how we break or change our habits. Mm-hmm. And if you guys collaborated, it might add strength to each of your ideas.
That is a great idea. And we can even, we're from Craft Academy, so we work with professors daily. Yes. I'm in psychology, so I can even connect with a psychology professor on that. And Dr. Rogers sitting back there, she's the head of research for Craft. So we can work together, and I appreciate you building off of this company. We'll definitely look more into that.
Yeah, I'm with Larry on the collaboration with other teams, because it seems to be a common theme. One of the things that I suggested to one of the teams earlier was trying to get ahead of the vaping age. You said 14, I think it was the age that you had mentioned. You guys have a charisma that's rather contagious. And Luke, you made a statement of this is a movement. So it makes me think back to my younger years of, just say no. The campaign that, was through my generation. So I truly think you guys are onto something, and you could certainly make a movement here. With your charisma, I think you guys could do some pep rallies and some assemblies with education, even at the younger ages, below 14, like catch them and teach, the dangers, and, get that in their minds ahead of time before they get to that age, so they just kind of steer away from it altogether. I think you guys did a phenomenal job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate your vote of confidence.
Yeah, likewise. Great job, guys. You've got me down here smiling, grinning ear to ear as I listen to you. I want to go back to the slide you shared with the young woman who said she would like to quit.
Jay Lee.
Yep, Jay Lee, but impossible without anyone to turn to. So I want you to unpack for us the peer support that you imagine built into your idea.
So what we're doing is we're going to these school assemblies, and we're basically having a pep rally to say no to vaping. So we are actively going and talking to students, and we've already been doing that. And we're talking with students, and they have a drive about them. If you switch to the other quote, could you do that?
one?
Yes. He says, knowing people my age are behind this, it makes me feel like something I can do too. This is Evan, and Evan doesn't vape. What he does, he has friends who vape. He looks at them, he says, well, now I'm empowered to say, you know, there's different resources available so that you can say no.
Okay, great. So on the website, you have links to the resources that would help somebody break an addiction to tobacco, nicotine. Okay.
Yes, we have multiple just general addiction resources, multiple hotlines, and specific websites that talk, maybe more in depth than we can as we're just students. Very in depth, statistics that show how harmful it is and how it can impact your life forever.
Okay, great. I think I want to build on, Jared, I think you were going down this road in nudging someone. Like if someone needs an accountability partner, right? Oftentimes we need an accountability partner to build good habits and break bad habits. So could AI be a tool here that you could build in that when somebody puts their information in there, I drop my vape in the box and I'm signing into your website, can they get a nudge on their phone or something every now and then? Hey, how you doing with that? How you feeling? Maybe if they're like, darn it, I'm going to go buy another one, they can say to you all, right, to the Break the Vape guys, who are really AI,
Right.
I'm getting ready to break. And they'll get a research-based response from that nudge. So is there a way to build something like that in maybe?
We already have a chat function. If you go on the website, there's like a Let's Chat. You can just send any message, I can get it from the website. That's kind of like a, weight loss apps, where they tell you, oh, you have to track your calories, stuff like that. We could totally do that where we could either keep it on the website or make an entirely new app. Basically, you log in, have I vape today? Have I put my vape in a box today? Just to keep track of it, like a weight loss app.
Yeah, yeah.
We could do something
or
like that,
just
for sure.
encouragement. Folks
Yes,
need
like
you
a-
got this, encouragement.
And I love how you hit on that point because in this business we can truly expand. We are making such an impact with what we have now, but we can go above and beyond of what we're already doing, which is already making an impact, and we can target using resources like AI and using resources like legislators and the students and school administrators. So I appreciate you thinking about more about the expansions rather than just getting this started. I appreciate
Awesome, good. So you guys have a slide, I think, with a couple people at a desk, right there.
Yep.
All right, I want to see you guys in that picture. Drop the clip art. Do we call it clip art still?
that. Yes, I do.
Stock photos, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see you guys
It
there.
was just,
Yeah. Okay, 3 minutes. Quickly, Luke, you were responding to a question about selling, and you said you just want to get it out there. You're clearly very mission-driven, but I'd like you all to think about, you can develop this product in Kentucky from Martin County, and you can sell it outside of the state to build revenue for your project in the state and for the state. So don't cut off the business-minded, make some money on this, even if you're mission-driven in the state. And the last thing, if you all go to the legislature and have something to pitch, think about the Pritchard Committee for Academic Excellence backing you up as you go to that testimony table, because we'd love to support your efforts.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
On the business note, what was the number? Was it $40 that you said these things cost you
Yes.
to make, or that you're selling them for?
That's the raw material manufacturing cost.
Okay. And then this $800 number for installations, like how many is that get in the school?
That would be for 20. The 20, I'll break it down. There's 12 bathrooms in the high school, and attached to the high school is the Area Technology Center. This is in Martin County. It has 8 bathrooms, and those are, we identified that as a high traffic area for vaping because there's auto shop and stuff like that, and so we are actually probably going to double up on the vape boxes in those areas. And then that's also the middle school component. There's 20 available positions for vape boxes in the middle school.
And it's very cost effective to make these boxes. What you have right now, I don't know where it is, right there. That was 20 cents to make.
Yeah.
And that's only a scale. So it was 3D printed. So when we scale this up with that titanium, it's very cost effective, and we are selling it to the schools, and they have loved and wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea on the sell price? If it's $40 to make one?
So right now, the grant funding was the main source, but we are probably gonna take around, for R&D and stuff, probably about a 50% overhead on that. So we'd probably sell it out of state for about 60.
Okay. Because I was just looking at like, okay, there's 1,477 schools or so in Kentucky. You say like 12 bathrooms on average times $60. So that's like $1 million business right there if you captured that market just in Kentucky, right?
Yeah, we included that right there.
Okay, sweet. I didn't see that yet.
It's $365,000 is probably the total amount of market cap for Kentucky.
The only other thing I would think about is you talked about your kind of use of Snapchat and social media platforms for the organic kind of marketing you're doing is like leverage this revenue into doing more of that, and you know those eyeballs can produce other.
On the Martin County data, it says the total funds needed. Those are the total funds, not the total profitability we'll make on that. So you're right. We can make over $1 million just in this business idea. So I appreciate you touching on that.
Yeah.